What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, breweries, basically anybody in, around, passing through the city of brotherly love that makes this place as awesome as it is. Fucking A, man. I got to interview the Melvins, man, and I'm stoked about it. We got to sit down with Buzz and Dale, and we talked about fucking living in Aberdeen, the scene, what it was like growing up, them fucking moving to California. Fuck, off air, I got to Buzz fucking shared his journal with me. I don't know. It was awesome. This is the first time, and you can totally hear it in the interview. I've been interviewing bands for a decade plus. This is the first time. I don't know why it happened. I don't know what happened. But I was nervous. I couldn't get my thoughts together. I fucked up on facts. I flubbed on several different areas, and I was just for whatever reason awestruck. It doesn't happen often. I've interviewed a fuck ton of bands, and this is the first time that I got super fucking nervous. We talk about, just briefly about, their time with Kurt Cobain when Dale was in Nirvana. The audio is not that great. It's got a lot of mistakes, and you know what? I don't care. I don't fucking care. This happened. I'm fucking super proud of it. I'm fucking proud for fucking manning up and doing it. And they're fucking awesome dudes. Just fucking down to earth, fucking cool dudes, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I'm gonna air it, mistakes and all, whatever. I don't care. There's no editing. What happened, and that's what it is. The fucking Melvins, dude. You may know some of their other work from different bands that they're in, but their latest album, Pincus Abortion Technician, is out now. It's a banger. I love it. Like I said, just super thankful to be in the position that I'm in, to where I get to interview such amazing people. I was super interested in finding about that life prior to making it, and I feel I caught that. People have never probably heard of Aberdeen, Washington. I've been there. I have family there, and it's this little tiny place. It's tiny. It's a small town. There's not much going on there, but all of this crazy, really great talent came out of that place. And they chalk it up to a coincidence, just a fucking coincidence. I consider it a coincidence that I even ended up in the same room as these guys. I'm super proud of this interview, and it's got a bunch of mistakes. And I don't always make mistakes when I do these things, but this one has a lot, and I'm proud of every single one of them. I don't care. Just get it out there. Anybody else that's thinking about doing this, just do it. Just fucking do it. All right, let's get in the show list real quick. May 19th, you've got Rager for the Party, Kids at the Fire. All of these are taking place at the Fire, man. Don't even ask me. That's the spot. American Pinup Yonkers, Handsome Crew, going down at the Fire. Founding Fathers with special guests at the Fire on the May 24th. May 26th, Free Search for Purpose, going down at the Fire. May 26th, Roseblood, Dread, Black Wolf, Defendant. May 31st, Stand and Wave, Tough Guys, Soda. June 1st, Abstract, Artemis, Bad News. June 2nd, Trauma Queen? Trauma Queen. Cold Hands, Zombie Shark. I wonder what the fuck that is. June 2nd, Cheesesteak Boogie. I'm down with that. June 5th, Pause, One Live in Philly. June 8th, Spine Luke Strauss, The Grip. June 9th, Adult Playtime. June 9th is my wife's birthday, and I'm sure we will have Adult Playtime. June 15th, Forever Vista Brick Nova, The Gray Vines. June 16th, The Muckrackers, Mauled by a Bear. I keep hearing a lot about those guys. Would love to interview them. June 19th, I keep saying it, I want to interview the Church, Open Heckle Mic. I need to link up with Karen at the Fire, make sure we get that knocked out. June 22nd, Philly Still Shreds, Day 1. June 23rd, Result of Choice. June 24th, Hellings, Hogan's Goat, Jamie and the Guard. June 29th, FamFest. That's fucking Dominic Stone. We interviewed Dominic Stone Dominic Stone's a stand-up guy. I definitely recommend you go to FamFest. I understand from what I've been told that shit is going to sell out. July 12th, Hell to Pay, Vatican, Inclination, No Option. July 13th, Caterpillars with River Morning. July 20th, Alter Beast. August 11th, The Hook. All right, The Hook's doing something. Hedera and Heaven Man, The Good. That's what is going on through June at the Fire. Fuck it, man. Let's get into the good shit. This is the Melvins. It fucking happened. I'm proud of it. I was starstruck as fuck, and I don't care. I hope you guys dig the interview. My heart was beating out of my chest the whole time I was doing it. Without any further ado, here they are, the motherfucking Melvins.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Perfect, man, and
all
we
right.
are on.
Cool.
Dude, I'm here with two members of the Melvins. We're here with Buzz and Dale.
Hello.
Dude.
Hello.
You guys have possibly the most interesting lives that I've ever would have imagined. I think that the things that you guys have done, the legacy that you guys have created with your band, the bands and projects that you all have been a part of, it's just a huge discography and volume of work. I have several questions, and I don't even know where to start. I prepped myself for this. I thought about it, but I guess the first thing I would like to know is how do you guys find time for all the different projects that you all are a part of?
I don't know. I mean, we just work hard. I mean, we tour about 3 months out of the year, and we have the rest of that time to do whatever it is, recording, or getting ready to tour or things like that. So I guess we just use our time a lot more wisely than most musicians do. Because as you know, most musicians are really lazy.
So you guys started off in Aberdeen. I've actually been to Aberdeen. I have family that lives in Aberdeen.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I went out there, and it's a bunch of trees. It's a huge logging place, right? It's like was known for logging. What I wanted to know was, I mean, you guys came up during this time, like in the 80s and stuff. What was that scene like? Where were you guys playing? Were you playing house shows, or I mean, what?
Not in Aberdeen.
Okay, so not
really.
in Aberdeen. So there's a non-existent scene there. Nothing happens there.
Music scene there. No, nothing.
Cover bands.
There was cover bands, and then there.
Cover band.
Yeah, right. Well, it had to be there. That was the only thing going on, really, besides what these guys were doing.
But you guys would play at your house, is that correct? I mean, that's where you guys would practice there?
And at the bass player's house.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay. And so from there, you guys would chuck out to Seattle, or where would you guys?
Tacoma, Olympia.
You probably have to hold that a little closer, sorry.
Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia.
And so you guys would is that what spawned this idea of like, we need to get out of here, we need to tour, we need to do, is that like what spawned that, was the fact that there were no shows, or?
Well, not only were there no shows, there was no one that gave a monkey about us at all there. Nothing. It was it's horrendous. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not really into small town anywhere, actually. I grew up in that kind of environment, and it's just not for me. And I've been out of there for more than half my life, and looking back on it, I find it all to be really appalling. It's a horribly boring people, and just an ugly environment. Other than the area itself, nature-wise looks nice, but the rest of it, there's just nothing about it that's good. Nothing I can think of. I don't look fondly back on those memories, or think about like it's the good old days. It was horrible. A bunch of people who didn't like what you were doing and were violently opposed to it. Just you in general. They're just violently opposed to it. I mean, I'm sure if I'd have really wanted to crawl around in the mud with those people, I could have been accepted on some level, but I just had no interest. And I was miserable most of the time I was there.
What's so odd to me is that there's so many great musicians that have come out of like that area.
Yeah, but well, that's just weird. That's just freaky, and a coincidence more or less too. But there wasn't any place for us to play in Aberdeen, but before I was in the band, these guys were going to shows in Seattle and Olympia and places like that, and became friends with people that were in bands and people that were putting on shows, and that's kind of how they started playing out of town like that.
It didn't amount to much, you know. It wasn't like it was a big thing. Nobody really cared about what we were doing even then.
And even in that Seattle area, I mean, we left before anything really happened, and I mean, as far as we were concerned, there wasn't much going on, really. I mean, there wasn't a ton of places to play, you know, a few.
I mean, unlike the rest of those bands, we left there and started over in a whole new environment and made it work there. Mm-hmm. And it was working there before any of that stuff in Seattle ever even took off. So we moved out of there, and you know, it was a good thing to prove. You know, we don't need to be here. I wanted a clean break anyway. It was a good thing, and I've been thinking back about all that stuff lately, and it's just like, for long before we left, I was ready to go. You know, I wanted out of that area completely and start over somewhere else.
So that wasn't a hard decision for you to make at all. You were already eager to get out of.
Not only did I want to leave that area, I wanted to leave that state.
Really?
Yeah, there's nothing there. When we left there, we left nothing behind. Nothing. And we started over completely from scratch in San Francisco, and we, in a very short amount of time, we had somebody wanted to put out our records, and we were playing shows, and it didn't take long at all.
What do you attribute that to? Like, I mean, aside from it not being a small place, how do you guys think you caught fire like that? I mean,
we were passionate about what we were doing. We practiced all the time. We believed in the things that were happening, and we were doing something that wasn't happening. Nobody sounded like us. Nobody did what we were doing, really. We were a hybrid of a lot of different things, and I thought it was really cool that we were able to do all that without benefit of a scene. You know, we weren't part of the Seattle scene. We didn't live there. We were long gone. You know,
so with
we were
that
rolled into that, but and I'm sure that helped us on some level. I would never deny that, but we were doing okay long before any of that stuff happened.
And there is some crossover. I mean, both of you had some hand in I mean, you're credited on Nirvana albums, right? And
Mm-hmm.
You introduced Grohl to Kurt and I forget who else it was.
Chris.
And Chris, and I mean, there was still some crossover there. I mean, you guys were still playing in that area, right?
We would go back up there and play, but
Yeah, actually, it was better once we moved away, and then we'd go back up there and play because the shows were better.
So you guys had made a name for yourself outside of that place, and it caught fire. Was it like college radio or what?
No, I mean, we could already play there and do pretty well. So even after we moved away and maybe came back a year later and played and played.
It wasn't until we moved to San Francisco that we even made $200.
That's true. You know, it was like $100 shows.
Away from there is when we made, before we broke the $200 barrier.
Was that you smile at that? Was that a goal? Was it like, if I can make $200, then I can do this?
Well, it's interesting to me that we made all that happen without benefit of any of that stuff that was going on there. Still worked for us, and it would have worked no matter where we lived.
So
we could have been in LA, we could have been in New York, we could have been in Chicago, we could have been in fucking Tampa. You know, it wouldn't have mattered.
So why did you pick San Diego?
San Francisco.
San Francisco, sorry.
Because my girlfriend lived there, and we had an opportunity to move down there and move in with her, and I was ready to go. I could not wait to get out of there, and it was an opportunity and an excuse. I never regretted it. It was the best decision I ever made. That one single decision set us up to be in the position that we're in, with the people that we're in, with the people that we're married to, all that now. You know, even though we don't live in San Francisco and I don't have that, she's not my girlfriend, I'm married to somebody else. Had I not done that, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. So I regret nothing. None of it. You know, none of it. You can look at those guys. I mean, you know, it worked out really badly for Cobain. It worked out really badly for Chris Cornell. It worked out really badly for the singer of Alice in Chains. I mean, you know, who knows what would have happened.
Were either of you shocked by that? I mean, were you either shocked about any of those things? Were you shocked about the way that Kurt went, or were you?
Yeah, it was horrible. It's tragic, and it's you can find a good side to all of it, but it ended so badly that it's difficult to look back on it and go, yeah, it was so great. You know, I'd rather have him be not famous and alive than famous and dead. You know, there's no good came from it.
Right.
It's the worst thing that could have happened.
Do you think
a little baby in the hands of a monster? You know.
Do you think that you would have? I mean, because you're sober, right? I mean, is that what I understand?
I don't do anything.
Right. So do you think in any way that would have you guys would have, anybody in your band would have had the same type of consequence or end result?
There's no way to know.
You're happy with that, obviously.
Well, there's no way to know that. There's no way to know what would have happened. I mean, when we're around people like a bass player from Nirvana, he doesn't seem overly happy to me. You know, if there's one thing I know, that happiness is something that you can't buy. You know, what is happiness?
For me, it's the freedom to be able to do whatever the fuck you want. Like that for me is where
one part of it, you know. But if you're not happy, it doesn't matter what you have. I know plenty of people have millions of dollars that are not necessarily happy.
So
what do you do? Cheap happiness or lofty suffering? Which way do you go? You know, with more money becomes more problems. I mean, if you look at people like Dave Grohl, I'm sure he's not overly nice to anyone, really. He's in charge of a multi-million-dollar organization, hires and fires people at will, does whatever he wants. It's not easier or nicer, you know? I don't know. People have an idea that I'll be happy once this happens. No, not maybe.
Right. So
maybe not. You know?
So you guys, so you get out to San Diego or San Francisco? I guess.
San Francisco.
Okay, San Francisco. All right. So you guys get out there. You hit the ground running. You guys start like flyering, hitting shows, doing
pretty much rehearsing, and then starting over, trying to figure out where we could play.
It was easy.
Trying to meet people.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, we started playing. Not too long after we moved there, we started playing this bar pretty regularly called the Covered Wagon Saloon, and got in with a promoter there. And from there, just started playing a lot of shows around town. Eventually, hooked up with Boner Records, got a booking agent, and started touring.
Yeah. Okay. So that must have been a big moment for you guys, right? I mean, hooking up with Boner Records must have been big for you guys, right? Or did it not? Did it not phase you, or you're just like, okay, well, what's next?
We liked Boner Records.
Yeah.
And so, how did that happen, though? Like, I mean, it sounds, whenever you hear things like that, they're like, oh, yeah, they just got found. But I just find that hard to, like, digest. Like,
the girl that owned, or that worked at the bar was friends with a guy from Boner. And she's now dead. But she said, you should come down and see this band, and you should do a record with them. And he came down and said, I'll do a record with you guys.
That fucking quick. So when it was easy for you, when you say it was easy for you, it was just a natural progression. It just
bear in mind this: we'd been playing in Seattle and Olympia for years before that. Did Sub Pop ever offer us a record? No. Did K Records ever offer us anything? No.
Yeah, we had a hard time getting a label at first until we actually did move down there.
They didn't. I always assumed that somebody like K or Sub Pop would eventually come. They no interest, none.
wow.
At all. They never even entertained the idea. So then, what would lead me to believe that we were welcome, or then it's just like, okay, I don't want to do it. We were more of an Olympia band than we were anything else, and they concentrated on Olympia bands around there, and they didn't
still nothing.
Never said one word, never mentioned it. Well, I think we were on 2 tape comps, but like doing a 7-inch or an album. I mean, I'm sure in hindsight, I don't know if it ever crossed their mind, but that was pretty stupid of them.
That is weird that they'd never offered anything.
Nothing.
Because that's true. I mean, we played at Olympia all the time. We were friends with all those people. And
Nothing.
I don't know. Weird.
We were too weird. We were too heavy metal. But you'd think that they would notice that and go, oh, yeah, that would, And we're the only band left. The only one still working.
Right.
And the guy from Boner still pays us for those records every 6 months. And so then Sub Pop and K Records don't have an option to not pay us because they never did any records with us.
And so
Sub Pop we did a Mike and the Melvins record. I haven't seen anything. They did nothing at all. It's like, that's right. That is what is happening. Nothing,
So
Wasn't
do you
wrong about that from the beginning,
So do you feel like that you're, I guess, fortunate in the fact that you've you've been with these guys for so long, and they've treated you so well for so long. What do you think? Like regular artists that are signing deals and these horrible 360 deals, by the way, that I've seen, where they have to get
horrible.
I think they are. I mean,
Do the bands get money up front?
They have to pay a percentage of, even if let's just say Nike endorsed them, that label would then get a cut of that as well, because they're saying that because you were a part of our label,
What do they get for that?
How do you mean? What do they? Well, they get
signs to this 360 deal. What do they get?
Distribution,
tour. Distributing the record. They get
no money up front or anything like that.
No money.
That's what as I understand it. Yeah, I mean you.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they do it?
Because they believe that it's going to push them to the next level.
Well, maybe. The only way I can see doing something like that is if you're getting some pretty nice paycheck up front. We're going to give you all this, and then we're going to get a percentage on our investment back from you. That makes sense.
So you would be okay with a 360
Depends
deal?
on the deal.
Yeah.
Depends on what we got.
Wow.
I mean, if you got look, if somebody offered you X amount of dollars for X amount of years to do something, why wouldn't you do it?
I don't know. I just feel like you would be able to do it.
I don't know what you do for a living. What do you do for a living?
Nonprofit work.
Okay, so let's say that there was a deal where you didn't want to do it. And so you go, I don't really want to do this, but I'll set a price that's so high that if I do it, then I don't feel like it's something I don't want to do. You know what I mean? You'll triple the amount that you want. You would normally do it in a situation that you wanted to do. So that because you don't really want to do it, so you go, I'll triple my wage on this, so that when I do it, I don't feel bad about it because I'm getting a lot of money.
I don't see it. So I don't know. You're asking me that. For me, it's like, well, I don't know. That goes back to happiness and like is doing something that you don't want to do.
You're getting the benefit of way more money for doing it. No one gets paid a lot of money for doing things that are easy to do.
Right.
A lawyer gets a lot of money because it's a shit job.
Yeah.
Doctors sticking their fingers up people's asses get a lot of money because it's literally a shit job.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I mean, how much are you going to get to do that? It's not going to be pennies.
Right.
So if someone offers you, if you don't want to do it, then you go, well, then I want X. You figure out what the amount that you want to do it that would make it okay.
So talking about money, labels, things like that. I know that when you guys started out, and even when you were first started touring, it was very hand to mouth. It was very.
The idea of making money was ridiculous.
Right. When was it that you guys, or what album, what year was it that you're like, oh shit, we're comfortable, like I can pay rent and still have money for food and
1988.
That shit was quick.
We had the Ozma record out, and we did a U.S. tour, and actually came home with money.
We made a little bit of money, and we made a little bit of money from that record, a little bit, and we had enough to survive for a certain amount of time. And we said that we'll just do this now until we can't pay the bills anymore.
And you've been doing it since.
Yep, we've been doing it since.
That's amazing, man. That's.
But until you make that jump off of the cliff, now you have to hustle.
That sounds, yeah. I mean,
now you have to hustle in a way that makes it to where you're not just. I mean, going for the highest dollar figure isn't always a good idea.
You're probably going to hold that closer just because
it's not always a good idea. You have to do it in a way that makes it to where you're not alienating everybody that already likes you, and you can continue to do what you're doing. So you have to stay true to what you're doing, But they're making money is not a crime.
Oh no, I don't believe it's a crime at all. Now, with that, you guys, where do you think? Because I know where you're from. I know where Aberdeen is. I know that you guys got out of there. Where do you think that this constant? I mean, you guys have done, Fantomas. Where do you think that this odd creativity comes from? I mean, usually people are inspired by locale. They're inspired by where they grew up or something like that. Where does that come from? Was there a teacher that inspired you? Something?
No.
Nothing.
I can't think of anybody. No person. I was on my own with that kind of stuff for a long time. Since I was about 12, and I didn't start playing guitar until I was in my late teens, and it was relatively quickly after that I started writing music. Not long after that, and then it just kind of went from there. You know, I would get. I'm not a trained musician, so I have an odd way of looking at how all that stuff works. You know, and I hear things and want the music to be that way.
Gotcha.
And then Dale, fortunately, is good at interpreting that sort of thing. So it's been good, but
I've had practice.
yeah. But I don't have a I don't have a lot of the only way I can do it is to just sit there and just work my way through it, and spend a lot of time with a guitar in your hand trying to figure out what's next. That's it.
Okay, so you talked about, you know, staying true to what you're doing. You guys are constantly switching your lineup, your styles. This time around, you guys got 2 bass players.
Yeah.
Okay, the dude from Butthole Surfers. How did that work out in the album and in the recordings, and how is it working out on the road?
Well, originally we're going to record an EP with Jeff Pincus, and he was going to come out and just do a couple songs with us, and we were simultaneously doing a record with Steven. We're doing the A Walk with Love and Death record.
The video is fucking that trailer is insane.
Oh, the movie, yeah.
the movie is going to come out soon.
Yeah.
How soon are we talking?
How soon is that?
We'll have them by the next 2 within like a month.
No shit. How long is it? 33 minutes. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember.
it's really good. We watched it a couple times the other day, and it's great.
I would love to see some of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
anyway, Jeff came out at the same time we're doing the record with Steven, and you know, we're jamming, and we're like, oh, how about if Steven plays along with us too?
Right.
And you know, after playing a few songs, we knew that we could do something together, and that it would work. You know, they have 2 drastically different styles and tones, and they just made it work together. Yeah.
See,
The first time playing, I'm like, we could do this. This would actually work, and it would be really good.
it sounds fucking rad. That's for sure. You know, I can't wait to see like what the live show, you know, is like.
Yeah.
Since I've got you here by yourself while he's going to go get this video, you have your own solo project, the Fickle Finger of Fate.
Yeah,
right?
It came out last year, yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to know is who directed Big Uns, the video, and is it the same person who did all the figurines in the video as well?
Oh, yeah. The guy that directed it was this guy, Adam Harding. He did that video and another video for a song called Bad Move. And he had the idea of doing messed up dolls for a while, I guess. And I just kind of let him go ahead and do whatever he wanted on that one.
That dog looked so scared in that video. He looked like so like timid and like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's my dog. And actually, when Adam brought over the dollhouse, he just went in there to lay down. Like, oh, cool. Well, let's get him in the video too then. So
dude,
he thought it was his new bed.
Yeah. So you've already toured that
I
project?
Haven't. No. I didn't really intend to at first because I didn't have a way to do it live. But since I put together a band, and hopefully later sometime we'll do some live shows.
How long did you work on that project, like that you wrote the songs for? Is every part of that you? Is that
more or less? I mean, there's some other people playing on it, and one of my old friends, Dan, helped write a tune, and Toshi, who engineered it and played a bunch of stuff on it, we co-wrote a song too. But everything else is me. You know, probably 90% of it. I performed it all.
And did that just come out of like downtime? Is it just like you're
something I thought about doing, like that would be cool. I had these songs and thought it might be cool, and
it worked. Yeah.
Well, I'd done some stuff with the label before. They had weird ideas to do projects where there was one in particular where they wanted to do this crazy lathe cut record that had separate cuts in it. Hard to describe, but what they did was they put 6 different spindle holes in it, and then cut the track to whatever would correspond with that certain hole. So it's going to look like it's like off center if you have it on the outside spindle hole. I
understand.
So they had me do these like short little drum pieces that I wrote. You know, I kind of made them like little TV theme songs. You know.
So did that ended up coming out?
Yeah, it's out. Record? It's been out. It was really super limited edition, and a bunch of people complained, and so I'm like, well, maybe we could do something where it was like a full-length record, and I could add some more, and then everybody can buy it. So the label was really into that idea, so that was that.
Yeah, I'm guessing the label gives you a lot of creative and artistic freedom, and it's kind of like looking, for you to do more or to explore or to do. They're not. It seems like they're not afraid to take risk either. Like, just try it and see what the fuck happens.
They're into weird stuff and doing super weird, hard to make records. They also did a thing where they made this record out of a piece of brass, I believe. Made it look like a cymbal.
All right. It's like a little
it's a
Zildjian.
playable record.
Who's on that one?
Me.
Okay, it's all you,
Yeah.
right?
Just me.
That's gnarly, man. That is super rad. Bummer. I was really looking forward to checking that out.
I think I got mine to work.
Huh?
I said I think I got on.
Is it this right here?
No, I'm not on now though. Yeah.
UA private password.
The password was.
I won't share.
Well, you have to be in the building to probably use it.
Right.
But that's fine.
So I've been reading off and on this book called No Slam Dancing, by a dude here in Jersey. In Jersey that's part of that the scene and was covering this club and would work and play there, and it talks about one of the very first stories is the Butthole Surfers coming over, playing a gig. They were like, yeah, please don't do this, that, and the other, and they just kind of looked at him, and then pretty much went to go closely set the place on fire.
Oh yeah.
And I was just wondering if you guys had any crazy ass Philly stories.
Where we almost set the place on fire.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if we ever set the place on fire, but there's a place, and I've told this story before. There's a place in Lawrence, Kansas called the Outhouse, and we'd never played this place before. This was the first time, and we drive out there, and it's in the middle of the cornfields, and I know a lot of bands were out, like, they drive out there and go, where the hell is this place? Are we going to get jacked out in the middle of nowhere? So you drive all the way through these cornfields, and then there's this club out there called the Outhouse. And when we first showed up, the cops were there, and there was a pickup truck that was rammed through the front door of the place. And evidently this guy got drunk and went out there, and there's a bunch of kids hanging out there, and he gets out, and he's in his underwear, and he's like, which one of you fags is gonna fight me? And then they're just like, whoa. He like gets back. Oh no, he was actually wearing, I think, like a negligee or something.
Oh, okay.
Something weird like that.
All right.
And ran his pickup truck right through the front door of the place. So the show still happened. And then later when we were playing, like, the promoter comes up, stop, you gotta stop. Cops are coming, ambulance is coming. Some skinhead guy had gotten beat up badly and got a concussion, and so show was over.
Whoa, man, that is a rough story.
Yeah.
You can't recall anything from Philly specifically? Any crazy? I bet you every
That was
place is the
crazy?
same.
No, not really.
Crazy ass Philly stories.
No, I remember some lesbians really wanted to kill us one time, one of our first time. There was a super drunk girl, and we were playing this place called the Khyber Pass. Is that right? Is that what? Khyber Pass from here in Philly.
Okay.
Probably still there. And she was super drunk, got on the stage, and the stage is like not even as wide as this couch. Yeah, the whole place is super small. And she's
next to the drum,
stumbling around and like unplugs stuff. Then plugs the amps, and everything just goes down. I'm just like, God damn it, and yelling at her like, fucking bitch, like, get the fuck off the stage. And then after that, these lesbian girls came up to us and were like, what the fuck you got? Like, totally like mad about it. Yeah, they wanted to kill us. Like, whoa, come on.
cool.
Right.
We let her pass out on the stage.
So you guys, you're also with Crystal Ferry, right?
Slow internet. We'll see what happens.
All right, we'll definitely check it out. Did you guys end up? I don't know. You forgive me. I don't know. Did you guys end up touring that?
We did not.
Okay. Would that ever happen, or is it too hard to get everybody?
Yeah, we would totally do it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, huh?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I was really happy about that project because Omar's in Mars Volta at the drive-in, and that's from my hometown, El Paso, Texas.
Right, from El Paso.
Yeah, originally from El Paso.
Paso.
Yeah, El Paso, right? The greatest Mexican food there is in the country, in my opinion. It's so close to the border. But
You live in California, remember?
yeah, I know.
That's right.
I hear that.
We got
Do you guys do red chili or green chili out there? Which one is the preferred?
Honestly, I don't eat a lot of Mexican food.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's different though. It's more like just like either green or red sauce.
Right on.
But I mean, it's more salsa based, really. I
Right.
guess.
I prefer sushi.
Oh, do you?
But I did try to take Omar to one of my favorite taco trucks, but he wasn't having that and went across the street to Taco Bell. So
What?
I guess that tells me what kind of Mexican food you guys have in El Paso.
No, that's horrible. Or maybe your taco truck was so bad. He's like, no, I'll just do Taco Bell.
Taco Bell or
Oh yeah, it might have been a no lard thing. I'm not sure.
How did you guys?
I don't know.
How did you
I
guys
think Taco
hook
Bell's
up with
the
Omar?
worst fucking
No, it's not
Mexican
doing
food
it.
in the
Damn it!
world.
I wanted to see that so bad. How did you guys hook up with Omar?
Well, we played. It was we played with Les Butcherettes and really liked Terry's band, and had them come out on tour. And
that was the main. That's the whole way.
yeah, it was through Terry.
Wow! And so you guys just started clicking and jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you guys, when you're on the road like that and you're touring with another band, where do you find the time to jam? Like, is it during?
We
like,
didn't until after we toured. We became friends on tour, and then we were playing a song with Terry every night. We were doing a cover of Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill, and really liked playing with her, and we thought it would be cool to start a band with her.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have to do your drums.
Oh yeah, yes. I might have to go soon here.
Okay, no problem, man. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
We really appreciate your interest.
Dude, thank you.
Absolutely.
I like the fact that you're so passionate about what we're doing. That's nice.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much.
It's not lost on us, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Pincus Abortion Technician. It's out now.
It's out right now. We're doing a big tour. We got this tour, and then another 5-week tour, and then we'll go to Europe in the fall.
Yeah.
And then that movie's coming out soon too. So,
Awesome, man.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I hope I do get to see that video. I know the internet's working. Check it out and be able to at least talk about it during the intro.
It's really cool.
Yeah, man. I cannot wait to see it. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck tonight. Continue kicking ass on tour. Keep creating awesome shit, man. We really love it.
Right on, man. Thank you so much.
You bet.